10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is June 16th and it's Friday, so it's nearly the weekend, and got a pretty quick episode for you all today, so let's get started. The first thing that I want to cover is this amazing milestone that we've reached of 2,900 node operators have been registered on Rocket Pool. That does not mean that there are 2,900 unique people staking on Rocket Pool. You can register a node on Rocket Pool without having any validators on there. You can also have multiple, like single people registering multiple nodes and, you know, dividing their setup for different reasons. So the fact that we've hit 2,900 is absolutely beautiful. Like, it's really, really great. But the actual number of unique people who might be staking through Rocket Pool might be like closer to 2,000 or maybe even a bit less than that, but still that is a really nice amount, and of course that's the only solid number we have to go with. So when someone asks how many node operators does Rocket Pool have, the only number we can say is 2,900, because that's a nice little excuse to actually delve into some stats today as well. So as you all know, there's a mini pool queue again on the Beacon chain for the Rocket Pool protocol on the Beacon chain. On the Rocket Pool protocol, not on the Beacon chain. Of course, there's on the Beacon chain too, but we have 138 validators waiting to come online from Rocket Pool, so they're waiting to be matched with ETH. Some of the days have been a bit up and down recently, I'll have to admit. Like this week, you know, we're on right now, it's Friday and we're on 9,600, which is way less than like the last few weeks, which have been 30,000, 40,000, 26,000. Like the deposits have slowed down noticeably, and that might be because of what's happening in the markets. That might be because of, you know, a whole host of things. One of them might be, you know, the rETH APR being lower than others right now because so many of our validators are stuck in the Beacon chain queue, about 5,000 of them. So there's a whole lot, you know, waiting there as well. So if you look at the daily deposits, we've definitely had a few dip days here, like, you know, 800 and then 293 this week, 548. Thankfully, the last few days, you know, we've kind of bounced back a little bit, like 2,700, 1,900, 1,700. So those numbers are definitely a lot more respectable. But sadly, like, there was a few days like early this week and last week that have kind of really hit the totals. So that's been a little bit disappointing, like, I'll have to admit. But we're still chugging along. Now, if we have a look at nodes here, because, you know, we hit 1,900, we can see that we are growing very nicely on the node count, with May being the second best ever month for node counts after launch, you know, November 2021, when we got 443. After that, May was the second best ever month, which was wonderful. On the weekly, you know, it's been fairly respectable. We've had like somewhere between since, you know, Shanghai Capella, like 96, 90, 51, 74, 84, 57. So there's been a slow downward trend, but not so much that it's been like really bad. And then the same on the daily, like, you know, we've had 10 people yesterday, 3 today, and so on. But like the numbers on the node operator side looks really good. And of course, you know, here with the mini pools, we are now at 24,263. About 5,000 of those, however, are right here. Look, pending validators. We have 5,042, and those are the ones that are waiting in the queue to become on the Ethereum queue and the Beacon chain queue to start validating. Those are coming online every day, but they are definitely, it's going to be a while, you know, like another 30 or 20 days before all of these, well, 45 days maybe, since all of these are online. But it's pretty good. Like the numbers are really respectable. Like we've definitely had some good growth, and as you can see, you know, with the rETH supply, it's about to hit a new milestone of 450,000. Maybe in a couple of days, hopefully, or even tomorrow, or like later today, we will hit that target. So that is definitely respectable. Like it's really good. So why is this growth happening? Well, people like Messari here have put out threads about like what staking, like what's happening with staking and what's going on with it. So they said, here Ethereum underwent transformative upgrades, the merge and Shapella in the past year. This led to remarkable economic developments and skyrocketing growth of new liquid staking protocols and liquid staking tokens, LSTs. And then here we get Kunal who digs in, and it says prior to Shapella enabled withdrawals, our ETH staking growth was slow and perceived as riskier. Post Shapella users can comfortably stake and unstake ETH. This freedom has actually accelerated the rate of ETH staked, with May 2023 seeing the highest monthly net inflow since the Beacon Chain's launch, which is phenomenal. And then over here, they're going to say, while the growth rate of ETH staked has been pretty consistent, the same cannot be said for staking options. Since Shapella upgrade, liquid staking protocols, staking pools, and solo stakers have grown their share at the expense of centralized exchanges. Of course, Kraken unstaked and Coinbase are losing their stake as well. And then here, this is the key tweet that I want you all to have a look at. It says, as a category, liquid staking protocols outshine all other staking options. Moreover, they offer enough options to let users maximize their own preferred metric. So let's have a look at what the metrics that they have a look at, what they're using. I'm sorry if some of it's cut off on your screen. I'll do my best to tell you what's what here. So they have 5 different staking services that I mentioned here. They have Lido, Rocket Pool, Frax, Stakewise, and Swell. And then each one compares their market share. So Lido 32%, Rocket Pool 3.2%, Frax 0.9%, Stakewise 0.4%, and Swell 0.1%. Now, they compared the number of node operators. Lido, 30 node operators. Rocket Pool, 2,879. Frax, not applicable. I think there's only one node operator that runs all of it. I'm not 100% sure though. Stakewise, 4 node operators, and Swell, 8 node operators. So what are the fees for these? Lido, 10%. Rocket Pool, 14 to 15%. Frax, 10%. Stakewise, 10%. Swell, 0%. But I think that is a promotional period. I don't think that's going to be sustained. And then the effectiveness is how good at validating basically on the Beacon chain. So Lido 96%, Rocket Pool 95%, Frax 97%, Stakewise 97%, and Swell not applicable. Lindy, Lido, and Rocket Pool are high. Frax medium, Stakewise medium, and Swell is low. DeFi utility, Rocket Pool is high, Lido is high, Frax medium, Stakewise, and Swell low. And then the decentralization score, Lido low, Rocket Pool high, Frax low, Stakewise low, Swell low. So if you have a look at this information, like there's one clear winner here for me, and that is Rocket Pool. Like if those are the things that you value, right? Some people may value the fees percentage, some people may value the effectiveness, but those differences on the effectiveness are quite small. The real differences you get are with the node operators, the decentralization scores. Those are the key things to have a look at. So I really thought this was like an amazing tweet with really excellent information. And Messari then go on and talk about more of Ethereum staking and LSTs. So definitely go and give that a good read, because as always, Messari are putting out really excellent information, and you can definitely learn a lot from it, I'm sure. Okay, as you all know, we've got a campaign going on right now, led by Shifrin and others, where we are trying to get people to move away from Geth and onto Bisu or Nimbus. It's the RPL client diversity push. And here SNG was one of the people who've just moved from Geth to Nethermind, and he shares some information. So he says, hey y'all, you may have seen my concerns yesterday around increases in resource usage and subsequent increases in hardware temperatures in switching from Geth to Nethermind. Well, I've completed the switch, now fully synced execution layer, and figured I'd share my results to assuage any similar fears that others may have had. So then there's screenshots of different categories here. There's CPU temperature, disk temperature, RAM usage, CPU usage, and I/O weight. So Sneaky here says the TLDR is that the CPU temperature baseline has increased noticeably, although still well within acceptable range, but the peaks are lower. The disk temperature, the baseline and peaks have dropped quite drastically, which is fantastic. The RAM usage has dropped drastically, but waiting to see if it creeps up further over time, as is the case with Geth normally. CPU usage, the baseline is similar, but peaks are mostly gone. It's a lot flatter now. And then the IO wait time, there's no noticeable change. So then this started a nice conversation about people kind of sharing their own stories. So here we have Upsilon.eth saying, also switched from Geth to Nethermind and seeing the same massive drop in RAM usage, been 5 days since the switch and still hovering around 12 gigabytes. My other observation is more consistent CPU usage. On Geth, after a couple of days, I would start getting random CPU spikes up to near the max CPU usage, whereas Nethermind is less spiky. So if you're interested in switching from Geth to Nethermind or Bisu, these kind of like anecdotes are really wonderful in helping you understand like what to expect. So thank you so much SNG for doing that. Okay, so if you had a look at the events channel today, you might have seen that there was a whole lot of mini pools being distributed from Thomas. As you know, Thomas is the largest single node operator on Rocket Pool, and he kind of blew up events by having a whole lot of ETH distributed. That is normally a precursor to having mini pools shut down. So people are like, wait, what's going on? So Thomas has 900 plus validators on one machine. Thomas popped into trading. He put the Doge emoji, people laughing, and Patch is like, ooh, exits, spicy Thomas. So Thomas explained what he was doing. So Thomas says, splitting my one mega node into two, and Patch says, thank God for that. You can't use the rescue node with more than 300 validators in Nimbus. So Thomas says, oh wow, good to know. And he says, whale problems. So they fixed the merge. So basically this is what's it happened, right? Thomas has 900 validators on his node. That is a lot. And it's quite bad node management to have that many validators on one machine. Thomas, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think he kind of just YOLO'd it. And it's been working fine for him for the most part. But what's happened is I think he is trying to take a more cautious approach now. And he is basically dividing his node into two. Now, what does that mean? I think what that means is that he is exiting around 450 to 500 of his validators from his main node, and then he will set up a new node with those same validators back on, and then I think in the process he is going to convert to LEB8s. Now that is speculation on my part, but that's what I feel like is happening. But yeah, that's pretty great. I think Thomas, is working on this node management stuff is definitely making a few people feel better about how his node is working, especially being the biggest single node on Rocket Pool protocol. So that's really cool to see. I'm really excited for Thomas to get in on the LEB8 stuff. That's going to be wonderful. Okay, so here we had Val, who was live blogging his DeFi doc update. So for those of you who don't know, Val has a DeFi document that has a list of all the different integrations in DeFi for rETH, and he maintains this document every couple of weeks, updates the information in there, and then people can use it to see what rewards they can get in different places, and where there's incentives and where there's not incentives. So today Val decided to live blog it and kind of give a little bit of commentary on what's going on and what's not going on. So here there's PancakeSwap. He says PancakeSwap has stabilized, nice rewards, but no longer sky high / inefficient. So the rewards that you get there now are 13.28%, which are pretty nice. And then there's some note there that says results will vary with position. But that's a nice amount of rewards there. He says the rETH RPL on Aura dropping, while rETH wETH increases. I think we may have had a VE BAL voter move between those, so people have kind of moved their votes around a little bit, and because of that, some of the rewards are kind of changed. But the rETH RPL is 5.7% rewards. Badger rETH is at 20%. BBA, rETH, and Anchor is, I guess that's not what to do with us. And here rETH and wETH is at 7.2%. When the concentrated liquidity gets used, gamma really goes off. No, that's a 24-hour number. It can vary a lot. So then there's a number for gamma here. Swap fees are 20.35%. The reward is 8.39%, and the rETH APR is 2.39%. So those numbers are just like ridiculous, but like Val says, they don't last. With Polygon ZK EVM on the balancer now, there's 17.9%, and they've got another pool with rETH and a BBO USD that's getting 130%. So that is pretty amazing if you are into that. Kronos is interesting if you want to hold to maturity. So if you hold to maturity, the way it works is APR in Kronos scales with how long the liquidity NFT has existed. It starts with a 1 multiplier and reaches 2 after 6 weeks. There are plans to have it go to 3 and then after 6 more weeks, but that's not in place yet. They're working on marketplace where matured NFTs can be bought, sold. So that is ranging from 7.6 to 15.3%. And then Aave has room for more rETH. And that's on, what chain is that on? Let me have a look. Aave, yeah, that's not, yeah, 12.5 thousand rETH can still be supplied if you are interested in providing like doing that. And then depositing ETH into the RPL ETH, Silo has been nuts and is currently nuts, and that is providing around 40% rewards, which are actually nuts. So yeah, so it was nice of Val to kind of like go through that and share some of the key information. If you are interested in doing like DeFi stuff with your rETH or RPL, then definitely give that doc a look at and check out those projects. Of course, being on that document is not any kind of endorsement from Val or other people in the Rocket Pool community or IMC. This is just for educational purposes. I'm sure Val would like me to say any protocols you interact with are at your own risk, and of course DeFi risks are real. You can lose everything you put in. Okay, and finally we're going to end on some happy news here, where Mambosan shared a picture and says baby Mambo number 2 was born a couple of hours ago, and there's a picture of the baby, and Mambosan is wearing a Rocket Pool t-shirt, which is really nice, representing. And then Wo says, congratulations, but did you deliver the baby yourself? I love how that's the first thing that gets mentioned, right? And then Mambo says, I offered but the wife refused. But it was really nice that Shifrin said congrats, and SNG says born to be a node operator, congrats Mambo. And Mambo says, yeah, the baby's born and bred Rocket Pool node operator. And yeah, lots of people was congratulating Mambo-san, which was really, really nice. And congratulations from me to Mambo-san and Mambo-san's family and kids. It's really, really heartwarming, but I'm also quite upset, Mambo-san, because you're like my number 1 / number 2 submission contributor, and I'm gonna miss you in the coming weeks. But I'm really, really happy for you. I'm really glad that your partner and your child are doing well, and I wish you the best of luck in these next days and weeks, and I hope you enjoy every minute of it. Anyway, on that happy note, I'm going to end today's episode. I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead, and I will see you on Monday. Bye.